You guys remember that viral video a couple of years ago where you couldn't tell if the voice was saying Yanni or Laurel?
Yes.
We're saying Yanni. Okay. Yanni Gourde, specifically, for the top spot of the trade board for the trade deadline frenzy for the Avalanche. Look, where we sit today, I think O'Reilly might have ended up number one, but we made this weeks ago. So it is what it is. Gourde has that offensive punch potential. Multiple 48-point seasons, 160-point season, but that's an anomaly. The dude can provide quality offensive punch in the middle six of your lineup. He's proven that. However, his deal is expensive and expiring, and he's also currently injured, not expected back until about a week after the trade deadline. Are the risks worth it?
Yeah, I love Yanni Gourde.
Me too.
For me, if we're not having the Casey Middlestat going out conversation, and we're trying to add to this roster, Yanni Gourde is where I want to start, because I think Yanni Gourde, he plays such a heavy game, which is so weird to me. He fits inside a thimble. He's 5'9", but he plays such a heavy game, and he's so miserable to play against. And he's so good defensively that I've always thought of him as kind of a poor man's Philip Deneau. And I think that he's so smart and so effective in erasing tip-top offensive players from the game plan that he would become such an important chess piece in Colorado. And you would hope that the offensive production, which I know is down this year, but one, everything is down in Seattle, and two, his line mates have been Brandon Tanev and Ty Cartier. And I think that if you put him next to, maybe Ross Colton and Logan O'Connor, you're getting a little bit of an offensive boost there, but you're also going to have a really fast, solid, physical shutdown, third line that you go to in a first round matchup to try and take away Mark Scheifele or Jason Robertson or whatever that ends up being. That's the line that you're leaning on. And for the first time since 22, Nathan MacKinnon is freed up to kind of run wild against opposing depth lines and not try to hard match best on best.
Yeah, he's got a motor. Again, it's the tenacity, it's the intangible, it's the winning side of things. He won. He comes. This guy's everything's earned, not given. He went into ECHL. Got a contract in the American League, and then got a contract in the NHL. Was Stanley Cup winner. Signs the big contract. Gets moved in the expansion, obviously, to Seattle. Love him. I mean, he's got some drive. Some snarl. He's a centerman. Yes, who knows about the injury? I mean, the doctors would have to get involved there, which is very common that you can do that beforehand. Obviously, if you're trading for someone that's on IR, you have access to the medical records and make sure that everything's done and properly, and you're not getting a lemon. But I'm from what we've heard, I'm not worried about it. I would love to have this guy. The Frenchie, of course, helps out Drouin and Gerard on that category. Too many Finns right now. Need some Frenchies. But no, it's I love that he's won. I love that he drives. I love that PK. Anything you need this guy to do, he'll pile drive. He's gonna hit everything in sight if he has to. Like you said, it's not a big guy. Has played a lot of hockey, but I'm not worried about it in the sense that I do believe that you tell him you're coming to the Avalanche, he'd be doing cartwheels, and he's a perfect fit for this edition of the Avalanche.
And I think maybe one of the big selling points is he's expendable for Seattle. They might not be looking for absolute top dollar on a trade with this guy because they have Matt Beniers. They just committed a big portion to Chandler Stevenson, and they've gotten a good year out of Shane Wright. So their center future feels fairly secure, even if it is one without Yanni Gourde. Sometimes it's hard to trade with them anyway, but yeah.
And I'm not convinced that it's a pure rental either. If he gets to Colorado and he's comfortable here at 33, if the Avs would be willing to give him a 2-3 year deal, for a reasonable money. It's going to have to come down from that $5 million. It's going to have to be lower than that for Colorado to play in those waters. But adding Gourde, if it's a good fit, like I don't think it has to be purely a rental with Gourde. I think there's a really easy avenue for him to stay. Ultimately, that's one of the reasons why I wanted him on at the top of this list ahead of Evans, is because I do think keeping Evans is going to be a lot tougher. He's going to get paid money that I think is going to make Colorado uncomfortable. And with Gourde, you know, the injury, it's a down offensive year. There's a lot of factors at play here that would suggest, hey, he might not get that big money deal in UFA that the Avalanche can kind of take advantage of. So I think that this is just such a good, rock solid fit for what the Avs need. You know, he's not very good at faceoffs, which is fine, whatever. He'll fit right in, right?
Yeah.
So you're not.
The Avs have found plenty of success living that life.
Yeah, you're not correcting that mistake. So it's not mistake, but you're not correcting that flaw in your roster construction with Yanni Gourde. Sure. But he does so many other things. I just think that he would add so many different elements that it's fine. That sucks, but it's fine. I'm not losing any sleep over that. And the acquisition cost, man, it can't be a ton, because of all the factors that we've listed, including the injury of they're not going to get a full deadline's worth out of him. It's going to be, he's going to play 12 games for his new team. So the price has to come down just a touch because of that.
For a team like the Avs that is relatively asset poor, like we've talked about, real big selling point on Gourde. That's it. Let's be honest, any of these top three centers, I think you'd be pretty happy with if you're Colorado, of course, depending on what the trade actually looks like. But it would be hard to complain too much about any of these guys. So there are options out there. The question is, what do the Avalanche do? You'll just have to wait till the actual trade deadline to find that out. But we hope you enjoyed this article, these series of videos, however you consume it. We appreciate y'all so very much. I don't know, this might be the first video you're watching if you started at Gourde. Who's to say? But either way, thank you for watching, and keep it here on the DNVR Sports YouTube, or consider becoming a diehard on thednvr.com if you're not already. We'll see you in our next videos, which, who knows, when you're watching this, it might be the all-day live for the deadline in the next one.